Hello, and welcome to another episode of our series, A New Look at Your Investment with Newlook Capital. Today, we are thrilled to be joined by two guests, Elroy Gus, CEO and President of Newlook Capital.
Hello.
And our operating partner, CEO and President of Dentalook, Dr. Sam.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. This interview comes at a pivotal point for the Newlook Dental Fund, as we've recently learned that potentially 9 of our dental practices owned within the fund could reopen as early as May 4th. This is when the province of Saskatchewan rolls out their plan to restart their economy.
Dr. Sam, thank you so much for joining us today, and let's get right into the interview. Can you talk to us about your plans for reopening and perhaps a bit about what the first 30, 60, and 90 days might look like?
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Alison. Good to see you, Elroy. This is actually very exciting for us in the Dentalook because we own majority of our practices in the province of Saskatchewan. And Saskatchewan is one of those provinces that didn't see an upsurge in the cases of COVID-19. I have to admit that the government have done a phenomenal work. The provincial government did a phenomenal work from the get-go to really get things under control. So they have controlled the growth of cases really, really rapidly in there. And that actually translated into their latest announcement that they have a major plan to reopen their economy. They have rolled the plan, I think it was last week on Thursday or Friday, and they did it in a multiple step. Step number 1 included a lot of medical doctors, dentists, and everyone. Now, that was step number 1 in the plan to reopen. The other thing we were waiting for is the recommendation from the regulating body in Saskatchewan in the details on how that opening looked like. That was released on Monday and Tuesday. From our side as Dentalook, one of the decisions we did on a high level is we had a meeting almost 2 weeks ago to talk about how are we going to be prepped to reopen our offices once the date is clear. We wanted to be ahead of the curve. We did a lot of thinking on our own. We started producing documents in terms of how are we going to protect our team? How are we protect our patient? What's going to be the process from the moment we call the patient till they come to the office, till they leave the office, and what are the steps we're going to do. I have to tell you that we were really amazed by reading the guidelines that came from the college and the rumor we have around that someone have leaked our meetings to actually the regulatory bodies, because they followed it literally step by step. And Dr. Mitch Taylor, who's now the president of the College of Dental Saskatchewan, was actually the previous owner of one of the practices we own in there. So I had multiple one-to-one conversations with him. He came on the news before the announcement from the college did, just to reinstill confidence in the public about how you're going to come and see your dentist. So we're very thrilled about rolling out our plan on how we're going to gradually open our practices. The biggest challenge right now is that we're dealing with public fear. And the fear is, am I going to get COVID-19 in wherever I go? Or am I going to be someone that could transmit COVID-19 to wherever I go? So the plan we have is we've kind of divided the plan into 4 things. One of them is the concept of structure. My clinic structurally can abide by the guidelines that are required. Second, do we have the proper system in place on how we're going to be seeing patients and treating them? The third is, do we have safety in place? Do we have the proper protective equipment that can be utilized to be able to deliver dentistry properly? And the fourth thing is the staff, the team that's going to be behind executing all of this. So we literally took all our practices one by one and we ran our inventory. Where are the practices? What do we need to do for each one of them to be able to do it? So for example, I'm just gonna give you an idea. One of the things that is recommended right now is heavy personal protective equipment. So the days when you will go to the dentist and they have a mask and glove is not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about the concept of having more protection for the patient and for the team. So the conversation right now, our protocol involves an N95 mask that is fitted. Like as we speak right now, every one of our team members is being fitted for that N95 across all our platforms. It's happening literally right now as we speak. Tomorrow, most of our doctors will get their N95 fitted. So that's number one. We also have a disposable mask that will go on top of that. We're talking about a face shield that goes on top of that. We're talking about a gown. We're talking about gloves, and we're talking about foot gear for the dentist. The whole idea is that when you go and treat the patient, you're protected, your team are protected, so there is no transfer of microbes between or virus between either party. The second thing that have been a major conversation right now is when you think about dentistry, not every procedure we do in dentistry have the potential of causing this transfer of the virus. So the colleges and the I call them the smart people have kind of did a division between what we call an aerosol generating procedures and non-aerosol generating procedures. For example, I don't want to go into details. If I do a simple extraction for a patient, that does not generate any aerosol. I can go tomorrow in any of our practices with my personal protective equipment, get that extraction done and get out, and there's not much concern about the transfer of microbes. The concern right now is that every time you create an aerosol, and that is related to the handpiece, which is the cutting instrument when we do fillings, we do crowns, we do implant placement, and we do stuff like that. The other part is that in the hygiene room, we use a machine called hygienists when they clean teeth. They use two techniques. One of them is what we call a hand scale, and the other one is using the cavitron. The cavitron produces aerosol. So the way the college have been approaching it, and we thought about this 2 weeks ago, and we started putting plans to execute on that. So the idea is you need to make a distinction between a room where there is aerosol being generated and a room where there is no aerosol generated. So for example, if a hygienist is doing hand scaling for a patient, there is no aerosol being generated. The bar goes a little bit lower. We're going to still be protected, but it doesn't put as much restrictions on us. So what the college wanted us to do, and we kind of thought about it again a couple of weeks ago, is they want the rooms in which aerosol is being generated to be isolated rooms. And in our practices, we have a combination of rooms that are offices that are open concepts, where all the chairs are connected with kind of mid-island cabinets, or we have rooms where they are totally isolated in specific rooms. We've already had the ball rolling on isolating most of the rooms in our clinics, and I will tell you that by the end of this weekend, almost every one of our practices will have that isolation done, so we can actually introduce. So this is the structure part. So we've been heavily focused in the last 2 weeks to get that structure component under control. And we have a full, complete plan. We have contractors stepping into our practices literally from 2 days ago to do that groundwork to be able to isolate the rooms. So that will allow us to have more rooms to treat those patients that we need to be treated, even in a situation where we're generating a lot of aerosol. The other part that we've been talking about is how we're gonna actually clean up the rooms in a way to allow us to bring the next patient in. And what we're doing right now is we're talking about filtration systems and spray that you can go into the room disinfected that would allow us to bring the next patient in. So if you, as you can see, there is a lot of elements between getting the rooms ready, training people on a system on how we're gonna bring patients in, teaching the team members on how to use this extensive protective equipment, and getting the team trained to do that. And our plan goes like this. Starting next Monday, we're gonna be exercising on how this process works, real time, So most team members are meeting this week to try the protective equipment, to learn how to put it on and how to take it off in an efficient way. We're generating a protocol. It's around 10-page protocol that we're going to do a wide office Zoom call to kind of walk them through the steps on how we're going to do it. We're starting to book patients, and this is really exciting for us because we thought this is not going to be till June, but May 4, on Monday, we're booking actually patients in 9 of our offices in the platform. It's not going to be a big number of patients. Our goal for day 1 is somewhere between 4 to 6 patients, seen only by the dentist. So who's going to be on the office? There's going to be a front desk person. There is going to be a dental assistant, and there is going to be the dentist, and there is going to be what we call a sterilization personnel in there. So the idea is that the first week will give the team the chance to experiment with those new protocols and get comfortable on how to do this. So, first week, first day, 4 to 6 patients is going to come in. We have a whole protocol from the moment we call the patient. What are the instructions we're going to give them? What are the screening questions we have to ask them? When they come to the office, like right now, one of the guidelines is you can't have people waiting in their waiting area. So we're creating communication tools that the patient could arrive at the clinic, text us, and then we only escort them into the office when their chair is ready. So they're going to come, they're going to get gowned, they're going to get a head cover, they're going to get a mask, we're going to measure their temperature, they have to ask some questions, there is some consents they need to sign, then we bring them to the room. The room they will go to will be dependent on, is this an aerosol generating procedure or a non-aerosol generating procedure? Because we've been doing this groundwork of getting our rooms ready, we are ready for both situations, which is great. So the whole idea of the first day is just let the team flex their muscles and exercise the protocol. Second day is actually ramp it up a little bit more. Instead of maybe 5 patients, maybe we'll go to 6 and 7, and then we'll go from there. By the end of the week, what we will come up with is a team in each practice that knows how the system works, knows how to utilize the PPEs, and then they're really engaged in the process. Our concern is that people are coming with fear. Sometimes if you don't come and work it out, you still live in your ideas. Again, our commitment as a Dentalook is safety first. We want to really take care of our team. We want to make sure that we're part of the solution, not part of the problem. And that's where we're putting all these mechanisms around us. So when we go and execute on it, we can do it properly.
Excellent, thank you. So it sounds like we have a lot of plans and we have a great expectation, so hopefully we can see them all through. And Elroy, did you have any comments you wanted to add before we wrap up today's interview with Dr. Sam?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, just like on our industrial services fund, I really believe that we have the right operating partner in Dr. Sam. And just knowing the background and the process that his team at the Dentalook head office has gone through, we really appreciate their efforts, and just have to say we absolutely have the right operating partner for Dentalook, and we look forward to those clinics opening. So sounds like you've got it well in control, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. No, you know what? We're very excited. The team, actually, the surprising thing too is that every single team member we talk to, they're super excited to come back. Patients are excited to come back. We had one of our leading regional managers was on TV yesterday in Saskatchewan talking about how this reopening is going to happen. We're getting phone calls from the media just to get feedback about what are our plans. So there is that sentiment of everyone is ready to go back to that normal way of life, but we also understand that it's going to be a gradual process, and we're ready for that.
I actually don't think that I would have ever heard somebody say that they're excited to go back to the dentist, but I can see how that is.
We're establishing it. That's awesome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sam.
Thank you, everyone. Roy, good to see you. Alison and Jordan, thank you so much.
Thanks, Dr. Sam. Thank you, Elroy. And thank you to everybody for tuning in to yet another episode of A New Look at Your Investment with Newlook Capital. As always, if you have a comment or a question, please reach out to Alison and I directly, and we'd be more than happy to look at it in one of our upcoming episodes. Thanks, and have a wonderful day.
Bye.